What's up, y'all? And if you're watching this video right now, I'd like to introduce you to the official launch of my new brand, Tafari Burke. Yeah. So, I know a lot of you guys are like, what the hell is Tafari Burke? I'm sorry, let me introduce myself. So, my name is Eaton Akeem Tafari Burke. Now, for those who know me personally, know me as Eaton Burke. If you know me as a professional dancehall dancer, then you know me as Pyrotech Unruly, which you can follow me at Pyrotech_Unruly. I'm also a part of a dance team called Pyrotex, and you can follow us at Pyro_Tex, just to throw that out there. So Tafari is the name of an African prince. So Tafari Burke, to me, was basically my best version of myself. Now, if you're watching this video right here, this is the first episode in a series I'd like to call my 67-day Corona Life Overhaul vlog. 67-day Corona Life Overhaul vlog. No, I don't have Corona. This brand was inspired in a time when I decided to leave my house for 67 days and stay with people who I had no idea much about, and me just wanting to find myself and be mentored by probably the greatest mentor in the world. I love you, Melissa. So I could tell you now the entire story of how this truly came along, but that in itself would take about 50 minutes. I'm gonna give you this super short version of a long story of how I actually got to this place. So my mentor's name is Melissa. I met Melissa through dance. So she actually wanted to book me, and she contacted me in 2018. I believe this was late 2018, about a booking in 2019, because she was starting a new dance company called Panda Beat, which you can also follow them at Panda Beat. Yes. So when she contacted me, we spoke. She was cool. But then I also learned from her that she was a professional marketer who actually graduated from MIT with a business degree. Now, mind you, MIT was my dream school growing up. So meeting somebody who had a business degree in MIT, when I later found out that I should have never went to school for chemical engineering, I should have went for business, because that's what I was ideally what was most natural for me, you know? So all of that, I met her in 2018. She gave me a little help and tips on ways I can improve my dance brand, but because I never took the information serious at the time due to the headspace I was in, I didn't apply any of what she told me. Fast forward now to 2019, September, and I come here in Texas because I had the booking. So I come here, I meet her, we do everything. I had 2 classes, I did an event with her as well, and she gave me some more tips. When I went back home, I tried to implement a few of them, but again, because I wasn't in the right headspace to truly take the information that she told me serious, I didn't really apply much of it. So fast forward now to November 10th, the day before my 24th birthday. I got into a super big argument with my parents, and I totally broke down mentally. I'm not a crier, I'm not somebody who cries a lot, but I totally broke down mentally, and I came to this harsh realization that for the past 3 years, so 2017, 18, and up to 2019 at that time, I had been completely selfish. Now, for most people, to call themselves selfish sounds absurd, but I realized that I was completely selfish because I right now am in over $70,000 worth of debt from school loans. So I've been having my parents pay a significant portion of it on times when I didn't have a lot of money, because dance is, as of right now, because of how I was branding myself, an unstable income stream. So I would be okay some months I wouldn't, but I never ever thanked them for doing the things they did for me and providing financial support for me. And I always took it as them not truly supporting, because they never asked how I was doing with my dance. So I broke down mentally, whatever. I was actually leaving for Europe to go on a Europe tour. So I went to Europe, and when I came back from Europe, I had told myself that I need to get my life together. I need to either figure out what I'm doing with dance, or go into some business venture, or get a job, something. I need to do something. Now, mind you, I'm under the belief that I didn't want a 9-to-5. I just felt that I wasn't a 9-to-5 person. I don't like working for people. I knew that I had the potential to work for myself and I had the knowledge. It was just, I needed more. So I came back and I started researching in business ventures that I had started learning about throughout my years of dancing. But I never gave it any thought because I wasn't there mentally to pursue it. So I started looking into these things and I actually committed to one business. Started doing it for a bit, but because of my immediate need for money, I couldn't really build it the way I wanted it to, and I couldn't really think about it the way I wanted to because of that immediate need for money. So I was oftentimes just making impulsive decisions where I would start something and then stop it. So this was one of them. So I started it, stopped it. I was like, nah, I can't really do this. That was about December. Yeah, so it's like late December going to Christmas. After that, I kind of had like this, I'm in January now, and I just have like this dead month where I'm just thinking about different businesses, really not doing anything, blase, blah, 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 whatever. February comes now, and I actually get an opportunity to perform on the Jimmy Fallon show. So while at the show, I was supposed to get on an Instagram live call with Melissa. So we did the call, it was about dance, and after we'd gotten into a lengthy discussion, and after the discussion, I started wondering about some stuff, the same businesses that I was thinking about doing, and I'd already thought of the fact that I needed some coaching. So I had wrote her and I actually asked for money because I wanted to invest in some. Now, it wasn't her coaching. I already had researched some that was offered from a program that I was already in, like another business thing that I was doing, a lot of business, whatever. So when I had asked her, the response that she gave me was that I should take her course. So I'm like, I know you know your stuff, but what I'm trying to do and what you're telling me your course isn't the same. And she's like, marketing is marketing. But I'm like, yes, but it's specific to your business model, whatever. And we gotten back and forth. But in my mind, I started wondering, like, this is a $5,000 course that she's offering me for $300. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, at least try it, So I gave up and I tried it. I said yes. And so I started doing the course. So I'm in the course now and I'm starting to go through it. And mind you, now I have a personal brand that I'm thinking about, but I also have my team brand, the Paratex brand. So while I'm doing the course now, I'm trying to go through it, but now because of my surroundings that I'm in, not to say that my house is bad, but I don't get inspiration to do any work at my house just because of the things around it and just, I don't know. I don't get the inspiration to do work in my house. So fast forward to mid-March now, and I'm on a call with Melissa in our coursework, and after the call, I kind of just broke down to her and was telling her, like, I really can't focus in the space I was in because she had started yelling at me about not finishing the coursework. And after telling her that, she had offered me to come to her house in Texas. Mind you, I live in New York. So that kind of shocked me because, yes, you know me, but I haven't spent much time with you personally, more than probably like 3-4 days when I had got booked before. So it was kind of shocking to me that she would extend such an offer, So it hit me bad and I kind of broke down. We talked about it and I eventually said yes. The day after that, I got into a really, really big fight with my sister, an almost near death experience, like really, 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 really toxic. And after seeing through that, I thought to myself that, this was probably confirmation because here is it now. I got the chance to leave. This happens. This must be, like a sign. So I was even more excited to go now. So I left on March 20th. March 20th is when I came to Texas. I'm now talking to you and it is now 30 days since I've been here. 30 days. Now, day one. I had left from LaGuardia Airport and I had a connecting flight. So I went to Dallas and then I was supposed to go to Austin. While I was in Dallas, it was bad weather in Austin. So they had to cancel that flight and I had gotten one probably like 3 hours later. So I got here, whatever. We went to the supermarket. We had to wear masks. That's when it really hit me like, oh crap, Corona is real, and I settled in. Day one was whatever. Day two now, she asked me if I want to start working like right away, and I told her yes. So day two, we set goals. I was supposed to set long-term goals, but also set goals for myself while I was here for the 67 days. Now I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but it wasn't as specific as what I'm talking to you now, like here now. So my main goal, I think I had said like I just wanted to make like 1,500 for my loans. I wanted to see if I could make like an income of about 2,000. Like set something up. But these are numbers that I'm pulling out, but I really have no type of baseline in order to start making these things. Because I had nothing in place. And I said I wanted to start my transition into vegan because her and her husband are vegans, or they practice some sort of veganry. So those are my two goals for day 2, is more goal planning. Day 3, we kind of expanded on those goals and got a little more specific. I went on a run with her in the morning, and she introduced me to an app called the Nike Run Club app, where basically, it's runs that are guided. So you choose any like commentary basically based on the run that you want, and somebody is a trainer that talks to you while you're going through the run, so it mentally helps you get through the run, and you can talk about a bunch of stuff, a bunch of different topics, but it's cool. It's like having a personal trainer in your ear the whole time, and I really needed it because what he talked about that day was just basically living in the moment and understanding that a big goal can be very daunting if you don't think about it as a set of small goals. And we say this a lot, but a lot of us don't actually really believe it. So it was just a good run to go on, and I felt I was in a decent headspace after. We came back home, played Just Dance or something like that. So all in all, day 3 was good. Day 4, things got a little more interesting. So on day 4 in the morning, she had told me that we're basically about to do 1 year's worth of work in 2 months. And I was like, whoa, like that's crazy. But she said, you want this, right? And I said, yes. So we started doing it. So she said that today we're going to do strategy planning. So I went upstairs and we got some big post-it notes, and we put some on the board, and basically I had to create a calendar. That was my 67 days, and I didn't understand what the hell strategy planning was, but she basically just told me to look at my goals and start thinking about all the things that I would need to do, actionable steps that I would need to do to accomplish these goals. So I had done that. Now I had thought of a challenge for my team. So I thought of the challenge, and I immediately had called my team to start like discussing it, and I did that. So she had overheard me and said, okay, you've discussed it with your team. Now think about the action steps needed for the challenge. So I started thinking that I had got another idea, and I called them again, and she realized I did, and she completely yelled at me. She was like, you're not trusting the process, like you're going to step 3 before you do step 1. And she really let me have it. Now this is the first time this lady has ever like yelled at me, but I wanted to grow, and I immediately told myself, don't take this personal. You came here with nothing, and it makes no sense. You keep your limited beliefs that you have in your head, be open to any and every critique that she tells you. So I immediately took it as a positive experience. I got up and I started planning. Now, while I'm planning, it was really frustrating because I could do a lot with the pyrotech thing, but I couldn't really do much with my Tafari Burke thing because, again, it really wasn't much of a thing. I didn't really understand what I wanted to do with it. Even with the pyrotech thing, I really couldn't. I didn't think that we had a lot right now to offer. So there really wasn't much I could do. She came upstairs later that night, and from the little that I put on the board, she started asking me like, well, what can you do with this? What do you think you could do with this? And started giving me suggestions. Now, as she gave me the suggestions, in my mind, I'm trying to think, how the hell are you coming up with these suggestions? And I started to understand the process that went behind it. So now, as I'm understanding it, she's moving on to other things. I'm now able to relay more suggestions, and it's starting to work for me. So all in all, day 4 went pretty well, but she did help me with something major. I oftentimes use negative words to describe myself when I feel like I should know something already. And while we were strategy planning, every time I didn't think of something, I would say stuff like I'm stupid, whatever. And she got really mad because it was starting to mess with her energy, and she likes to protect it. So she was telling me to stop doing that and realize that everything in life, is a skill. If you don't know it already, it can be learned. So you just don't know it yet, but to say that you're stupid, you shouldn't tell yourself that, because you may not truly believe it, but to some aspect it does mess with your mind. Somebody also had booked a private dance class with me that day as well. So moving on to day 5. Day 5, that same person who had booked a dance class for her daughter, actually, she had gotten notice that she was going to lose her job a couple of days after that. So when I immediately heard that, I told her, listen, no, we don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Have her save her money or whatever. And she started telling me like, basically you need to realize that your product have emotional value, and that's not something that a lot of us think about. So she started leading with value. She was talking to the girl and she was telling her, offering her advice on unemployment stuff. And the lady was just so overwhelmed with all the advice she was getting that she said that she would contemplate doing it or not, doing the private or not. So in all, that was really day 5. It was just understanding that your products have emotional value. Day 6 was where the magic happened. So now I'm starting to strategy plan more by myself, and I started thinking of this crazy idea that while I'm here, I'm basically going through a physical, mental, and financial kind of like reinventment of myself, if you want to call it. So I was thinking like, what's a good name that I could call this entire process? So I was like, a life overhaul. I was like, whoa, a Corona Life Overhaul. So I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to be here for 67 days. Why not call it a 67-day life overhaul? Corona Life Overhaul. So that was what I did. And then I couldn't decide, okay, so now you have this, what are you going to do? Are you going to create a vlog? Are you going to make a blog post? So I originally thought that I was going to make blog posts. So I immediately got my notepad and I was writing down what had happened, trying to remember what had happened each day up to this point. So day 6, that's pretty much what had happened. Day 7 now, I'm doing more action planning, and I get this big realization that money really doesn't mean anything to me. And I realize that what I really love to do is just to help people. I've always been this way. People come to me for advice on a lot of things, and not to brag or anything, but I just got this big realization that I just love to help people, and that all the goals I've ever had in my life, at some point, they had to do with helping an enormous amount of people or helping a set of people. So helping people was what I realized that I wanted to do, and day 7 is when I realized it. Day 8 is when things now started to get a little frustrating for me. So the more I action planned, I started realizing that I'm getting more clarity on my pyrotech brand, because Melissa's just giving me different suggestions, and I'm starting to see more and more how dance can be a real thing, like a real income stream for me if I just switch the way I view it and market to the right people. But this Tafari Burke thing was really irking me because I didn't know what I wanted to do it. What was it? Where was it gonna go? And I couldn't do much action planning on it. And then I started feeling like I was wasting my time while I was here. So I got really discouraged, and I just got into a very bad headspace, because if you know me, I'm really not, I don't like to feel like I'm wasting time. And for me, everything's all about clarity. Like whenever I don't get clear on something, I get very overwhelmed because I feel like I'm lost. So, and I'm a big believer in like taking action, and I like to execute. So when I don't have that plan, I kind of like get all crazy. So that day was just a bad, rough day for me. Day 9 was pretty much more of the same. I woke up with that same bad energy. I'd made $50 from the private because we were doing a discount deal. I ended up having to give Melissa that for money for food, because she's keeping me accountable with the food that I have here, which I respect, So I was already annoyed about everything. Then giving up the money that I just made, I'm like, now I'm back to square one in my mind. So I had tried to send out emails later that day, and that was hard. And so I was even more discouraged. I had the private that day as well, and we had like connection issues. There was like a lot of things that went on in the private. I was getting upset. It was just this big spiral of a lot of bad things going on. So I had a meeting with my team right after that I was a little late for, because the private had went over. That like I said, had gotten delayed when I went on the meeting. My connection was giving me problems. So again, I'm pretty mad, whatever. So Melissa comes to me and tells me that the lady's daughter actually loved it, and she shows me like a testimonial basically saying that, her daughter has tried a lot of online classes and she's never really enjoyed it, and this one she really had a good time, and she enjoyed it, she loved it. So it definitely helped me come back to like good graces. Now while I was on the call with my team, I was basically sharing to them my opinions and just my ideas for Tafari Burke, and they started telling me things about myself and where I possibly could take this and how they viewed me. And immediately like light bulbs started striking in my head, and it was at that day that I decided to do a vlog. I decided like I'm gonna vlog everything that I'm doing from now on. So I was super happy after this, immense clarity. I'm like, all right, now I know what I'm gonna do with all this big 67-day Corona Life Overhaul thing. So that was that day. I'd also gotten advice on my logo because I was thinking about how should I do my logo. I basically said that I wanted to, help people monetize their passion. So I was thinking about, fusing a dancer with a businessman, telling somebody, you don't have to separate your passion and think that a passion is just a passion. Like, you can monetize the thing that you love and make money from it if you just switch your way of thinking. So I got an advice on that. Again, I'm super happy. Kevin gives me the gimbal. Kevin is her husband. He gives me some camera equipment, and that's how days 1 to 9 went. Now, day 10 will be released tomorrow, and I want to advise you guys from here on forth that, again, I'm now on day 30. This process of vlogging isn't easy for me. I want to be as transparent as possible. Even right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm pretty sure you've realized that I talk very fast and I kind of jumble my thoughts sometimes, but I'm sharing with you my vices and my faults because I feel like being completely honest throughout this entire series that you're gonna watch. And I want you to see my development as I go through this. Now, there are going to be days that are lengthy vlogs. May not be 20 minutes like this, nowhere close, but they may not be even 3 minutes, So I was having trouble balancing staying in the moment, but vlogging, because I'm not naturally a person who likes to film themselves. So a lot of times I'll be doing work and like 6-7 hours would pass. I'm like, damn, I didn't vlog anything. So I'd have to come back to where I was and then start trying to vlog everything that I did as if I was doing it over again. So a lot of them are pretty short, but I'm currently on day 30, and I promise you that from this day forward, you will see a drastic difference. But I'm telling you this up front. I'm even telling you what day I shot this, so just be prepared. I want you guys to be excited, and I want to show you how the life of an entrepreneur and the journey and going through your ideas and forming something may not be easy, but if it's something you really want to do it. And I hope this brand that I'm building, my goal for it is just to give people business advice and show them how the same passion that you have, anything that you want to do, you can turn it into income if you understand the principles behind business and how to think like a business person and all of that stuff. And I mainly am talking to my Black people. Honestly, I feel like as Black people, we don't have a lot of support within our own communities to become the things that we want to achieve and become the people that we want to be. So really I hope you guys resonate with this. I hope this wasn't a waste of time for you guys, and I really hope that you're excited as I am. I'm currently on lockdown as well. Texas is in a lockdown, but I wanted to show you guys how I was able to use Corona as the biggest breakthrough of my life, and I was able to form a whole brand that I will be planning to release from here on forth. Now, what's going to happen is that every day from here on forth will be a new video. So you're watching days 1 to 9. Tomorrow you will see day 10, and it's going to go on all the way till day 67. Every day I want you to tune in my progression. I want you to track my growth, and I want you to take this journey along with me. I hope this was of great use for you. I hope this is exciting to you as it is me even filming this right now. And to keep up with all updates with this brand and to get more information and to be a part of the official launch when I launch it 67 days later, well, it'll be 57 now, whatever, but leave your email and you'll be receiving information constantly, more brand updates, and just, again, being able to share this journey with me. I hope you guys like it, and see you tomorrow. Whoa! If you liked the video that you just watched and would like to see more content like this, then hit the red button and subscribe to my channel. Also, be sure to check me out at www.tafariburke.com, and be sure to follow me on my other social media platforms.